hump day. I'll have you know I went to Google and I did my attempt of making a camel.
Well, you're really accentuating the humps there, aren't you?
I was gonna. Never mind. I won't even go there. But I'm proud of myself. I went to Google.
Why do you do that? Why do you bring up something and then you retract it? Come on now, you got to go all in, right? You can't half commit to humps. Come on.
First, I had hearts, and I was gonna try to do some lips. Lip lock lips. Whatever. I'm like, no.
Hey, wait a minute. Hold on. We're not even 45 seconds in the show, and you're talking about lip lock. All right, so the rest of the hour or 59 minutes is fair game.
So I'm hurrying up before you get here, right? And I'm like, shit, let me Google how to make a hump. I mean, camel. And so I just do this camel. I have no drawing experience, but goes to show you.
Well, let's just put it this way, Lynn. I compare my drawing ability with what you sketched out there, so we're kind of we're give or take. Yes.
Can I just say I'm freaking proud of myself? I mean, it almost looks like a camel.
I don't know if it's a camel or a donkey with some points or cones on its back.
I don't know, but maybe I'm going to try to draw every day.
Oh boy. Is there really, do we really want to go down that rabbit hole? Is there any hope? I mean, if we have any artists on our shows, Lynn, could you pop that back up there, please?
Hey, remember we said,
hey, Dennis.
Art is in the eyes of the beholder, right? And this is my hope.
Well, yeah, but you're not entitled to answer that. Like we have to ask the artist on with us. Is that something? Because,
you know what? I'm gonna wait till Ray Lee comes home. Say, Ray Lee, what do you think of my camel?
Well, no, hold on. That's bias. No, she might not get any gifts this Christmas if she disagrees with you. That's a biased scenario. Like, hey, Ray Lee, and by the way, your birthday or Christmas gift is on the line here if you don't agree with me and my artistic ability. Take the whiteboard or take the white erase board away from her. Yeah.
Thanks, Dennis. He's supposed to be my friend too.
Dennis, if I had longer arms, I would take it away from her.
Hey, he's from Texas. He don't take no bullshit. He don't lie.
However, though, I'm not. Pink or purple is not really my color, so maybe not. Yeah.
Oh man! Speaking of purple, I went ahead and splurged and bought myself a comforter, and guess what color it was?
Imagine that.
You mentioned the color purple.
By the way, in the future, I think a piece of the puzzle's already been figured out. Is that the next vehicle that Lynn buys is going to be purple with intermittent wipers, right there.
Oh heck no! Well,
purple.
I don't know.
Yeah, purple. Yeah.
I don't know. I never used to have a color.
Because my mom has a purple vehicle.
Hi, Ray.
It's called Black Currant.
Wait, your mom has a purple vehicle?
Yeah, it's like black currant, but it's purple.
I love your mom. I got to meet your mom. Does she live by you? Can I meet your mama in a purple car and at least take a picture by the purple car?
Oh, you guys will end up going to jail. Because you'll have so much fun together.
Oh, I get excited, man. I'm excited.
My mom's a farm girl. She's one of 13, so she don't take any candy purple.
Oh my gosh! This is so funny.
Yeah, it's like it's more like a black currant, right? But obviously, we don't really like people in Wisconsin because anytime we see purple, we think of the Minnesota Vikings. So there's that kind of stereotype, or there's that stereotype.
A connection, to it.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh no, Brian.
Oh man! So today. You do you.
Welcome to everybody. Thanks for being here, Dennis and Ray and everybody for being here. We're honored and grateful for day number 3 to have you with us. Purple, iridescent. Yeah, absolutely. It's those sparkles, Tracy. It's the sparkles.
I love sparkles. I got purple sparkles on, but you shouldn't be surprised about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It always reminds me of back when I was in high school, like when it was in touch, like when you would see somebody that painted their car and it's like it changed colors as you were driving by it. You know what I mean? Like, wait a minute, it was just orange. Now it's green.
chameleon. Yeah, like a chameleon.
And of course, you attached it like maybe a night before where you had maybe a couple too many drinks where it was like, am I seeing things? You know what I mean? So, hey, Heather,
Yeah.
thanks for being
Hi,
here.
Heather.
So, it reminds me of those days where it's like, okay, now when somebody does that, it's like, that was a little past my time of trendy, I guess, you know?
Yeah. So today's topic is you do you is the week and selfless contribution to others.
Yeah.
And
This is something that's near and dear to my heart because, you do you. Yeah, there's hey, purple. There we go. We gotta make purple one of the.
oh, my
The...
sissie's here, Jules. We had a great time yesterday, and she gave me an awesome blanket for my bed. And no, it wasn't purple, but it's going to be underneath. It's gray, so I'm super excited. I loved it. Anyhow, yeah, with the selfless contribution to others, it's so funny because it really contribution should start within yourself first, giving yourself.
We're also assuming that we're past that though.
Right. No, but I'm just saying that going from there, it makes being selfless contribution to others, it makes it effortless. It makes it like it's like a natural thing to do. I mean, it oh, my friend Chanel is here. I love me more. He's amazing. Yeah, he is. That's why he's my bestie.
Thank you, Ray.
That's why he's my online
high school
bestie.
Colors were purple and white. Dennis.
Oh, really? In Texas? Wow. Okay, that's cool. That's different.
Mine were green and gold. So
mine were maroon and white.
But my high school. Okay, here's a side note because it doesn't pertain to our subject today. But as long as we went down the high school rabbit hole, is that there was people in my hometown that actually people stole the mascot sign off of the frickin' building. Yeah, they got in a lot of trouble for that apparently. But yeah, when you drive by the high school, they renovated it, but it's not like it's a whole brand new building. Like they preserved some of the old, but there's still no logo or a mascot on the side of the building, and it just makes me think of that moment when I drive by from time to time.
What was the mascot?
Golden beavers. Exactly. And you can only yep.
No.
Yep.
Yes. Just like my friend, she lived on 69th Street, and I'll tell you what, the county paid a lot of money for that 69th Street sign. And I even asked her once, can I have one of those signs? She's like, Lynn, if it only could stay up there long enough.
Imagine like the tourism department or whatever, like for their marketing, it's like, how are we going to brand this? And maybe like the mayor, it's like, what's going to be our town slogan?
Oh man.
But yeah, that over the years there's been quite and I'm sure you could paint them in your head too. Of different one-liners and joking bits that would match that.
15 years in my business, eager beavers were very popular. That's all I gotta say. It's so funny. I keep lately fashion and all this other stuff. I keep thinking I'm gonna have to go back to doing my parties online and stuff. Because man, I used to have so much fun with those parties. I might have to start doing the online pleasure parties.
Well, if you're gonna do it, don't tease people. Just do it.
Yeah, I know.
All in. You're going all in.
Yeah, it was always fun. It was just always fun, and it always keeps coming up as a point of reference on the show. So I don't know what's gonna happen there. But let's get back to selfless contribution to others. As far as I think naturally for me, it's always I love giving people value and just offering whatever I can help and do whenever I can. And so this to me, once upon a time, it wasn't a no-brainer. Not when I was an angry, upset, young kid and all that stuff. I just always felt I had to just be the lone wolf in the whole, scheme of things. But when you turn your life around to just really being about love and letting go and caring about others and stuff, you can't help but also just do it selfishly, contributing to others only makes
Well,
you feel good. It makes you feel good just to
well,
to
it
to do
becomes, it's not
things.
a light switch. Whenever you determine that it's not a light switch, you embody it as second nature. You can't even
Mm-hmm.
describe it just because you condition yourself that whether the path of life that has taken you where you are or how you've been trained to be through life experiences or living that, when it becomes second nature, you think more about yourself than anybody else, right? And you don't really realize it because there is no, it's an untapped reservoir about how
Yeah.
much you can do for others. But you know, and everybody has to identify what contribution is to them because there's no limitations to that, right? It could be inspiration, it could be, you know, somebody's shoulder when they're going through a tough time, it could be your expertise, it could be in volunteering. I mean, that contribution is wide open, whatever you define as that,
Mm-hmm.
but it's selfless. You
Mm-hmm.
don't, you even if somebody thanks you for it, you don't want to be inauthentic by not acknowledging it, but you know that you're not doing it for you. And if you are doing it for something you get inside, it's because it's that sense of love. It's that sense of, this is my calling. This is what I'm taking a
Yeah.
stand for in the world.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because I've always had that feeling that I always, especially when I meet people, I want to like listen to, and I want to get to know them, and I want to know what in their life when they're talking about a topic, how they handle things, and asking the questions. I know sometimes there's ways I can help them or give them value or tell them this or that or tell them a graphic to use or marketing or just all sorts of stuff, and I mean, I just love giving without expecting anything back. And I think
Mm-hmm.
finding a couple of friends that I've made along the way recently that are just sending me money. And I'm like, why are you doing that? And they're like, Lynn, you've given me so much value and you're helping me and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, well, I truly wasn't helping them to look at the fact that they're Vimeoing me and PayPaling me. I mean, I had another friend today send me $100 and I'm like, why'd you do that?
Oh,
Just
well,
because. I'm like, because you get value. I'm like, I like, it's very, very humbling, and
well,
it's hard to take, but
well, I also think too is that, you pay it forward, you know, and it's like, even if you feel like you're entitled to it, I don't know, Lynn, if you've had this, but it's just like, even if you're entitled to it and it's been justified and reinforced that you fight it all day long just because that's not your intention, right?
yeah.
Your intention is not to, maybe I'm being a little bit selfish here or whatever, but your intention is not for financial gain. It was to make a difference. And obviously, I have issues with gratitude at times where it's like, even if I'm entitled to some form of financial payment, that it's hard for me to accept it just because of how blessed I've been by other people that have paid it forward for me.
Sorry. I may have to leave for a second. I'm not sure, but I think I'm having an asthma attack, but I'll know here in a minute because I'm having this cough. But anyways, just in case I
Okay.
have to go, you're going to be center.
Yeah. Yeah.
But usually water helps too.
Hmm.
So the thing is that I realized though, I love doing, hey Jerry, I love doing things
Sure.
for others.
By,
And when,
by,
go
by the way,
ahead.
Jerry, thank you for butt dialing me a little bit earlier. I will send you a message after the show. I had to finish up a quick video after Michelle's presentation. Thank you over and over again. I want to say this publicly. Thank you over and over again for your guidance, your direction, and getting me unstuck from
Self,
my disbeliefs
self.
that I couldn't create a book. So I owe
Well,
you a lot.
yeah. Well, it's Jerry, I just love Jerry. Like I can I'll
Yep.
give him an extra hug from you to him because it just
Please do.
we are
Yeah.
yeah, that's gonna be
And
just so awesome.
and Jerry, it's just like, everything I said in the video when you were on Lynn's show, that becomes more and more clear in my brain. I mean, I knew it back then, but I mean, it's becomes much more clear that anybody that I've ever learned from, like truly learned from and coveted with my life, you're becoming one of those people.
Yeah,
You know, and it just blows me away. And I'm going to ask you this sometime: is what do you see in me that opens you up to share and to give? I'm curious about that. So we can talk privately if you want, but that's always one of the questions: that what do you see in me that that makes you want to share and to pay it forward with? So,
dude, I guarantee that I could write a card and I could write all this stuff down, and Jerry will write down the same stuff, and I'm sure
well,
a lot of other people. So you will get that list from me personally too, and I guarantee you can compare notes. And I
well,
guarantee, I'm telling you, every day since January, Brian, I have my friends that come up and go, man, we have great chemistry, and it just, you bring out the good in me, vice versa. I mean, like you're just the real McCoy. I mean, you're just stinking awesome, and
thank you. Thank you.
I just you just go on, man. It's just like let's Jules.
Yeah, Jules, thanks for being here, Jules. Jules says giving is part of our spirit from birth. Only as we get older with life, sometimes we let the world harden us.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm.
So with all that said, I mean, it's one of those things where when we realize that we are so much more than what we allowed everyone to, like I said, no more freaking wet wood, people. It's all the
Right.
wet people that really try to knock down your fire. They see
Mm-hmm.
how amazing you are, and those people, oh, we got to trap them in this tribe. We literally, that's how I see this, man. You're
That's
trapped around
terrible. That's terrible.
it's terrible, but it's true. I mean, that's what I saw when I started doing the whole no wet wood shit. I mean, like,
Mm-hmm.
it's just people that want to keep your down and not have your light big enough to allow other people to see it.
Yeah.
It always takes, and I've always been in a situation where people have wanted to keep, because they know, I mean, even my sister-in-law could tell you, I mean, my brother, I love him, may he rest in peace, but my brother was like no saint, even though he loved Jesus and all this stuff, and all this, but he knew he would get angry with me because people would come to me and ask me a question, and I wouldn't lie. I tell
Right.
you the truth. And he's like, why do you got to be so transparent? But that's the only way I could be. I mean, it's just the way I am. So,
I
go ahead.
No, go ahead. When I interrupted you, I think you
No,
got a little
no, no,
delay.
no. You're fine,
Is
sweetie. You go.
I remember years ago when I work with a certain graphic designer, and you know, like anybody, you got to find out what you like, what you don't like, your branding, who you're emerging as, what you're taking a stand for, and where your business is going. And you know, everything that I wanted to have her possibly do with die cuts before they were a big thing, and just really being different with the whole deal. Like, I'm gonna take this visual and I'm gonna try to, do a graphic like you did with the camel, and I want to bring this to existence. I want to bring this forward, right? Yeah, that's what I would do, to try to do drawings for like business cards or something.
Hey,
And
I went to Google, and this is what I saw really quick. So,
well, you could have just printed it out and taped it on your dry erase board. That would have been okay.
no, I wanted to use my artistic something that I have. I know I
I
have
like
it.
it
I
when
just
she looks away when she's trying to find the words to share. Like, it's like, okay, it's on the wall somewhere. I know that the words I'm looking for are out there. So what I was saying is that I finally reached a time when it was like every design or every concept or an idea I had that I shared with her, she tried to rope it back in, right? It's like, well, I don't really do that, or nobody's going to like that, or whatever. And I'm like, I didn't know what else to do because I was never in that position before. And then all of a sudden, this guy that I've been with ever since, I mean, he's a freelancer, he's awesome. He's been pretty much like my branding partner, right? My value partner, where he holds me accountable. I mean, now that relationship took a while to develop. So he knew my business and who knew who I was. And it's like, we've done all this work together, and it's like, to him, it's just an open invitation where it's like, you know, as deep as you want to get in the weeds about creativity and bringing the unimaginable forward, bring it. And it's like, that is exciting to me versus somebody that is there to, whether they realize it or not, but they're limiting creativity, they're limiting graphic design, or, as long as what you want fits in my box of what I do, we're okay.
Yeah,
And,
like a yes man.
Correct. And also, though, another thing goes along with that is like, okay, if that is all that's available, well, then what does it say about how you're going to stand out when just by the lack of options are limiting?
Right.
It's like, as long as you want to do what's inside of my box of my cog of options or product lines, everything's okay. But how do you stand out when even that dimension is all, is all inside of a box? So that, that speaks to what you were talking about, that to keep you inside versus having you stand out. And I don't wish any ill will on them. I mean, they helped me out for many years, but I'm just not in alignment with that philosophy anymore.
Yeah.
That you're going to limit my creativity.
Yeah. Well, and that's exactly why, like I said, look, I got a board. I'm not a draw. I don't draw.
I don't
okay?
draw.
I'm a lot. Yeah, I don't draw. But you know what? I said, Lynn,
if Larry's with us, that'll
minutes.
be one of our words on Friday. Draw.
We got 3 minutes, right? And I was like, you know what? Let me go see what I could find on Google. Let me do this. So what if it's going to look ridiculous? But you know what, Lynn? You're doing something. You're putting yourself on the spot. You're going out of your comfort zone, and you're going to freaking laugh about it. And that's what I did. That's,
Brian Kelm, you are brilliant, smart, amazing, loving, caring. Wow.
Yep,
Thank you for your generosity, Ray. Like I said, you guys are salt and pepper. That's awesome. Wow, Julie, thank you. That's
we are.
I don't recall us ever being called that, so that's cool. We're like salt and pepper. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just a Serrano pepper. What can I tell you?
It's just that was gonna be my next thing. It's like, well, I'm like, who's salt and who's pepper?
The pepper, baby.
Yeah, you've already. Well, pepper's white. Salt's white and pepper's a little bit darker. So maybe that works. Yeah. I'm a little salty anyway. No.
TMI. No, just kidding.
I wasn't going there.
Okay.
I just hung it out there a little bit and then I stopped.
I want to talk about you and some selfless contributions that you have made for this show. You went to California to spend time, and with your girlfriend and her family and this and that. And I mean, you truly, you stayed, you could have used excuses or said, Lynn, can we just take a break or this and that? You've made a commitment to our audience, and that is selfless contribution. And that's the simple little things I'm talking about you, Brian. Like I'm just keeping it freaking real here. And, and I mean, I love that, I got to say hi to your girlfriend. She's a real person and she's so sweet and I like her. And the fact that, she gives you time out of her time together with you. I mean, it's just, I thanked her and I'll thank her every time I talk to her or whatever, for her sharing you with us, because that is cool. Because,
thank you,
those, I take notice of that, I mean, not a lot of couples been, oh, you gotta do a show and I gotta hear you and whatever. Like I mean, you've literally at 1 minute left have showed up on here, literally walking in the door, like at her house or whatever. Like no matter what, you show up. Sometimes I'm scared shitless that I'm going to show up by myself. I ain't gonna lie, but you show up.
I get that.
And I keep saying, did I send them the wrong link? Or is he going to show up? Did I mess up? Did I'm like, and I'm like, Lynn, it's okay. And I'm like, Brian will show up because he'll let me know. So, it's just one of those things. She said, Brian is seasoned. So salt and Lynn is spicy.
Salt and Lynn is spicy. So, that's another screenshot right there. That's a great
it's true though. It's true.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Julie. That's spot on. That's great.
Yeah,
great summary.
Us, right? So
we need the pepper emoji, or some kind of jalapeno or habanero.
And if you talk about sweet and sassy, he would be sweet and I would be sassy.
Yeah. Yeah, that's accurate.
Yeah, that's accurate too. We can think of a couple.
I had to think about it a little bit, but I'm like, wow, yeah, there's a lot of yeah. It's not just a cliche or semi cliche or whatever. These are accurate statements here.
Yeah, I'd be the sassy Puerto Rican girl from Long Island. So I got that covered.
Well, when you're around lip lock, or lip lock, I mean, you could be sweet too, maybe, and I could be sassy.
Let's take things one day at a time, one day at a time.
Oh,
Anyways.
good Lord, stop.
Let's take it one day at a time. Let's all be nice and fitting.
Oh, shut up.
No. Shut up. Oh, shut up.
Oh, shut up. Stop it. So, no, but yeah, that's selfish. Yeah, that's selfish contribution. I mean, you've showed up, you've done things that, we have seen you in the back of a truck with a hat on and wondering, shit, what criminal thing did he do before he came to the show? No,
it's like he's like in the witness protection program in the back of a truck.
It's like, can I do this show before you take me into the jail?
This show is brought to you by this show is brought to you by Rubbermaid, the container my iPad is sitting on.
Oh, and this is my sweet Lori.
Hi, Lori.
Some kisses to you, girlfriend. So it depends what flavor.
Depends what flavor lip balm.
Oh shit!
Oh, Julie, that's great. I'm gonna use that in the future. I don't know how, but I'm sure it'll come back.
Oh my gosh, you guys are cracking me up here.
Yeah, it's like we can gauge how Lynn is feeling or what kind of temperament she has based on her. There it is. No, that's the
this is
the original one.
This is original one, and then he went to this one. You know what's so funny is you're gonna start making me whatever setup I do for my show when I'm out on the road. You're gonna have to remind me, take a picture of what your setting looks like. I'm like, okay, and I'll probably do a little promo thing with all the different settings at every show I do.
I do have I know it says a side note from our topic today, but I do have a side note about that. Is that I'm gonna send you both some slap your mama, maybe sponsor your show. Oh, Jesus. Oh my gosh, Dennis. Slap your mama.
These Texas friends I have, they're no joke. They're for real. I mean, they do everything big in Texas, man.
I make sure I stay on the good side of all Texans. Yeah.
Yep. And he's good friends with Ron as well. So if you're not friends with Dennis is he's a tycoon, man. This guy is badass. That Dennis,
I'm happy you're on our show. I mean, if you're anything like Ron or whatever, well, yeah, we'll get along just fine.
Well, you know what? Dennis is another one, man, that has my back any day of the week, except he happened to do lunch that day, but it all worked out that great. But I'm just saying, like, I have friends, man, that are just, well, you're one of them. That should tell you the kind of friends I have. That's all I gotta say. So
thank you, Lynn, for all of the praise.
You'll say accolades.
Honesty. I really appreciate it. But how this resonates with to the audience is that, I mean, just right there is that look at in your life of where you're a selfless contribution, with your family, with your community, with any groups you're a part of, with your work friends, with your customers, right? There's so many different levels of dimensions where even in each of those, it can be different, number one, about how you take action. But number two is that the way that you contribute to each of these people and groups is entirely different. And that's the beautiful part, is because you have variety. You're able to use your creativity and who you are authentically to decide how you're going to contribute to each person, because the contribution per person or per group may be different, And the beautiful part is we all get to choose what that is.
Well, you know what? Yes, and you're right. Dennis is another one. Wow. Yeah, listen. If you haven't noticed about this yet, I'm going to say it now. All about what we're talking today ends up being all about keeping your word.
Yeah.
Because when somebody says, oh, I need this or this and that, and I can help, and you say it before you know, that's a selfless contribution to others. But it's also saying, I made the commitment. I just said naturally that I'm going to help you. It's just not freaking words are cheap. It's actually truly saying, no, I said this from the heart. I said it without hesitation, but it doesn't come sealed or true until you keep your word by taking your actions. And that's truly what a selfless contribution to others is not just saying, but doing and acting on it and showing it. Because we can all say, oh, I'll be there for you tomorrow. I'll help you, whatever. But when that day comes, who truly is there? That's what it comes down to, people. And I just truly, the Peppa in me just had to be hot enough to say that.
Is that PEPPA? Is that Peppa?
I was just thinking of when I talked to Dennis and his Texas draw. So I was like, Peppa, like Dennis.
Or is that PEPA? Is it one P or two P's?
I don't know. It's not like you show the people the words that we're going to talk about on Friday. So as long as you want to say it the way you want to say it.
Visuals come to mind from a '90s trio, in the '90s or late '80s, early '90s. The three women, that were in Salt and Pepper. So, yeah.
But no, seriously, it's yep. Like fish dinner with family. Oh, I brought fish dinner over to her yesterday. She never ate it.
That's
Crazy
cool.
Mary's. Crazy Mary's is awesome.
Crazy Mary's, that's what it's called?
Yeah, fish fry. Hole in a wall, the best little freaking place ever.
Crazy Mary's fish fry.
Yes.
Okay.
Matter of fact, I'll go live there sometime and we'll have to see.
Let's be completely honest. Just by that name alone, you got to check it out. Like she
Oh my gosh. She's originally from New England. She makes the best freaking chowder. Oh, she's freaking sassy, and
clam chowder.
Sassy.
Clam chowder.
Yeah, the clam chowder. Yeah, and she's so sassy. She gotta be my friend.
Lynn is like a jalapeno pepper.
No, it's called a serrano pepper.
No, he didn't write that though. Stop putting words in that Dennis didn't say. He calls you a jalapeno. You call yourself a serrano.
Crazy Mary, she is crazy, but we love her. And I tell people, and she goes in there. She goes, "My name's Crazy Mary." This is my Crazy Mary. I said, "Yeah, she got a license to be crazy. They registered it as a business license, so people didn't know what they did." She just tells you.
Go ahead.
When you go there, okay, it's a fish fry place, and she'll tell you it's a fish fry place. So when you ask if she has chicken nuggets or something, holy shit, you better hold on to everything down because she will give it to you. Yeah, she's really awesome.
Now, because she is from the Northeast, how does she greet you? Does she say like, "What do you want," or is it actually like pleasant?
It depends what Mary feels like, but I will go live sometime and be like, "Mary, say hi." She'll be like, she'll probably do something like this. "You're not wearing your mask." And then she'll be talking again.
Oh yeah. Because I'm like thinking just by some people I know where it's like, okay, if you're looking at our authentic like New York City, they're like, "What do you want?"
No, that's how she is. But it was funny because I was there waiting for the fish, right? And I'm looking at our board and I'm like, 25 cents if you're taking out, or 50 cents if it's delivery. She goes, "Yeah." She goes, "But don't you worry." She goes, "I don't charge you that. You don't have to worry." I'm like, "I'm just asking." I said, "Okay."
You're just looking for an answer. You didn't need to,
I was like, "Mary, I'll pay it." She goes, "No, I just." She goes, "Because then they asked for 10 extra this and that, and it cost me." I was like, "Oh shit, shouldn't have asked."
I should have just agreed with you at the first part. Yeah.
But it's really cool because I always love to tip her really well, because some days, especially with COVID or whatever, and she yells at me for tipping her. She's, "You're my friend. You're not supposed." And if you know Crazy Mary, I almost sound like her saying that, but she's like, you're my friend. You're not my friend. I'm like, shut up. Here you go. So it's great. It's great. But yeah, like
Can
I
you
said,
put our
I
names
love
up there so everybody knows who we are?
our names. Oh gosh, you don't think they know our names? Lynn's right here, and Brian.
Well, I'm just saying.
Oh, you won't see them because this is on there.
Oh, okay.
That's
Never mind.
why.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Sorry.
how it's
Yeah.
been.
Okay.
But
There we go. Okay.
but sweetie, I think everybody knows we got Lynn and Brian above us.
Well, I don't know. I just want to be formal.
Oh, you
Anyhow.
want to be formal?
No.
Okay, let me see if I can fix this.
No, we're
So,
good. We're good. We're
okay.
good.
But anyhow, so yeah, it really is. People need to realize that if they say something, you truly know if you're a person that is selfless contributions to others are something that when you after you said it, do you actually follow it? Or you're not a selfless contributor of nobody. You just said that to sound good in front of everybody. You just said that because you thought it was the right thing to say at the time. You don't go on Messenger here and you don't say, hey, I want to be in your show or something, and then decide what you forget what you say. Just use that as an example. But let's see. If the shoe fits. Oh, where did he go? Brian kicked himself off the show somehow. If the shoe, oh, there he is. Oh my God, I didn't kick you out of here. But anyways, if the shoe fits.
I couldn't hear you.
Up front, percent. Oh, okay. Oh, so you didn't hear what I said? Too bad I shouldn't repeat the example.
Yeah, just rewind maybe 20 seconds.
Okay. So no, basically I was saying is selfish contribution is not the fact that you just said it for everybody else to hear.
Correct.
But that if you come, I used as an example, like if you come on somebody's, comments and you say you want to be on their show and then you don't show up,
right.
That wasn't selfless. That wasn't even keeping the fact of keeping your commitment to other people. Like,
correct.
You just learn to shut the freaking mouth up and don't say nothing if you don't plan to follow through.
Right.
That makes just an ass of you. I mean, that's all. And I'm just using that as an example.
Well, and it just blows my doors off that the simple things done repeatedly will give you the most amount of integrity.
Mm-hmm.
It's like by confirming and being excited with them, if not like pushing, like even challenge, like if it's in that context,
right?
Even challenging the person whose show you're going to be on, that you actually feel excited to be on their show.
Exactly. So
and actually honoring them in such a way where it's like, wow, I'm so glad you asked me to be on your show.
Right. It was so cool. I don't know if you saw, but on Instagram, Jen Gittimore, because I did a little intro to her being on my show. Okay. She thought it was the freaking coolest thing that she recorded, the intro.
Yeah, I saw
and
that.
She's like, oh my gosh. And that was so sweet. That meant a lot. That, it's nice because most people don't know that I actually take time to do things special for each one of those shows. And that's why I haven't been doing them regularly, because if I don't think I can give people the time, I'm not going to do the show with them and not give them the experience I want with them right now or whatever. But I mean, so for her to know that that's what I did, I appreciated that she acknowledged me for that. That was very kind. That was very nice.
But did you do it with any expectation?
No, of course not. But I wanted her to feel special and mission accomplished.
Absolutely.
That's all I'm saying, Right. And that's selfless of me. I mean, most people just say, hey, come here. Okay, let me read your bio. Because you can't talk about yourself. Let me read your bio about Brian. He's a wedding planner. He's all these things. Oh, so where were you born? Let's start from when you were raised and what school you went to. I mean, that shit, everybody does that, Instead, it's like Chris Roush. I knew I had him on my show. The best thing I love all my interviews, but I was ingenious with that. I loved taking the intro of his show to introduce his own self on my show, because that's how cool of a guy he is, Mm-hmm. And I was like, me saying his accolades or him telling his accolades would be like, that's like downplaying it. I wanted everybody to see the raw and that show that I do. I want people to see what I see in that person when I interview them.
And I mean, if we want to get this guy, hey, lip lock.
Hi, Scott.
Hey, Scott. I think that you touch on something that is my area of expertise, and it's something I always hone, but introducing people and creating a proper introduction. A proper introduction, if you study it, that's one thing, but if you just write something down, you're announcing somebody.
Yeah, if you just can be off the cuff.
I mean, no, if you rehearse it, it can be off the cuff.
Right.
But just reading off a paper when you're not looking at the camera and you don't have it's not conversational. It's like you're reading, right? Anybody can do that, and it just blows my doors out by what some people deem is a proper introduction, because there is a framework. There are several frameworks when you introduce somebody, and obviously everybody knows what those examples are because they watch TV. Right. They watch TV shows. They watch the Academy Awards, the Emmys, any of those types of things. When somebody's introducing somebody, it sounds like it's off the cuff, but it's been rehearsed a lot. Yeah. So it's conversational. So you touch on something that I've seen a lot of introductions, teach their own, right? Yeah, absolutely. But what somebody deems as a proper introduction is not for somebody that lives it every day and does it for fathers of the groom, fathers of the bride, corporate executives, where you're introducing somebody and it's like, if the audience does not connect to that person on a deeper level and why they have the microphone, why they have the stage, or in this case, why the person is on the show, you're wasting everybody's time. We got some comments here I want to read. Thank you for mentioning expectation, Brian. My pet peeve when people expect something versus giving selflessly. Yeah. I mean,
and she is selfishly, this girl.
Selfishly.
Oh shit, there's another Lynism or something down the road.
Selfishly. Love it. For bringing that
like I said, Lori is somebody that me and her, and Lori, I don't even know if you were here when I said this on the show with Brian, if you were still watching us yesterday, but Lori, do you remember when we were like in gym class and basketball, you were sassy with your friends there. And I'm like, oh yeah. I mean, we had some friction in school, but we ended up being besties outside of school. And it was like like I said, she and I we spent a lot of silence together, and it was like the best part of my life through all the shit she and I were going through. And she is selfish. I mean, she's beyond being a selfish person. She is Lori, just so kind.
I think that by what we witnessed by the whole, healthcare crisis that we've had, is I think that for people to be truly authentic and, like if it's a business scenario where they truly want to see if they can even help, right, where they're not expecting anything, I think it's something that's coming back, but it also is something that makes people shake their head, because we're conditioned and we're programmed that if somebody has a product and we've expressed some interest, that they're going to try to pitch or sell us. Well, the thing that's missing there is I don't even know if what I have to offer, if we're even going to work well together, if it's a service, right, for a wedding or a corporate event. And so the only way to determine if we are is to have a conversation. But a lot of people plan in their brains that this person's going to be high pressure or whatever they tell themselves. And so it couldn't be anything more from the truth, but all that programming is there without ever a word being said back and forth, So
and I got
Brian, to answer your question, I see a guy who has got, and he just needs a push. Wow.
Yep.
Thank you, Jerry.
Absolutely. So I didn't mean to cut you off with that. I just wanted you to see that.
No, but Lori brings up good points, and it's something that who knows what our world's going to look like because of what we've had to do over the past year. But what I can say though is that if we can communicate, other business professionals will say like, corporate budgets are being cut for travel amongst their people by up to 50%. And it's like, if you can convey value and emotion through a camera lens, there's not anything you can't do, right? It's a powerful thing, and you don't have to drive hours upon hours to meet somebody unless it's essential for you to be there.
One regret I had last year is I didn't tell Lori I was in Syracuse, because I just knew I would want to spend time with her, and because when she carves out time for me, she carves out time. It doesn't get, she doesn't. We don't have a time limit on it.
She's in Manhattan.
She's in Syracuse, outside Syracuse, yeah. And we just go to dinner. We'll sit there for hours. I mean, like she pushes and provokes me to think or say things like she knows. Yeah, no, she does, because she can get me really bashful, because she'll ask me some questions. I'm like, hey girl, I don't want to answer that. She's like, no, come on, let's talk about it. Like like she knows the introvert that I am. I mean, like I
So-
hide being an introvert so I could protect myself. But
So
in the
I have a
past,
question.
yeah.
Is it the kind of bashfulness as lip lock, or is it a different kind of bashfulness?
Oh, shut up. We talk about shit like that too. Don't even go there, man. Yeah, she'll be asking me, come on, Lynn, live it up. Tell me about some guys. I'm like, shut
Lynn,
up.
who is this person you speak of, lip lock? Tell me
Yeah,
about
no,
him.
she's my bestie, man. I love her. But again, she is definitely epitome of putting people first. And like I said, when her husband died this same time my grandson was born,
Wow.
she did not even tell me that she had just buried her husband, because she goes, Lynn, I'll sometime I'm going to find the message to show you, because she's just like, Lynn, she goes, I get, I saw how happy you were, and I didn't want to take you down from that, but yeah. And I was just like, and I was stuck with, wait a second, you are going through a really tough time now. You're thinking of my happiness and not yours.
Right.
Like, that spoke volumes to me. Nobody freaking does that. Like,
Yep.
I mean, I've got to find the message she sent me, and I was just, that's somebody that really cares about you. I mean, that's just the bottom line,
Yeah. I mean, there's examples right here. I mean, Jerry, I get tense every time. Yeah. That's right. I got a couple quarters in my pocket. How much did that give me? Oh, Scott, I got to meet you sometime, or when Lynn's in Florida, we got to have a chat.
He and I plan to do a podcast together. I don't even know how
heck,
to make it through.
if Lynn sends me your address, I'll send you like a roll of dimes or something. See what.
Shit, between Scott and Jerry, you're gonna have to send me a care package to deliver for you.
Oh man, my Lynn's travel meter or her tour, I'll have to like take my fluorescent marker and highlight that stuff.
You better get a little map. Actually, send me your address. I'll have to send you the whole little Lynn kit for you to keep track of. Put those little pegs on there. Where's Lynn now?
That'll happen around that area, like from Montana over, to Wisconsin. It's like there probably won't be much there, but then when you get on the East Coast, it's like.
Oh shit!
Well done, Scott. Well done.
Oh my gosh, he's having a little fun with this too, I'd say.
It's like I'll put $1 in the key. Well, we'll be good for at least a few minutes.
Oh my gosh, 10 cents used to be like to make a call. To call
really?
somebody. Yeah, 10 cents in a payphone was 10 cents. Okay, so I'm 55 years old. What do you expect?
Hey, I'm not judging anybody. Just
But
like
I'm saying, there
bazooka
used to be
bubblegum
this
when
thing,
it was 5 cents a
Brian,
piece.
there used to be this thing that you could walk down the street, and there was this box. You pick up the phone and you called people, and you called 911 from there.
I'm well aware. Yeah. Bell or
Yeah, 10 cents. 10 cents it used to be to make a phone call. And then after 30 minutes or something, they'd say, oh, you have a minute to put another damn quarter in it. Yeah. Not that I have ever used a payphone a time or two.
You got one right down the street from me, don't you?
Had one. Oh my gosh.
Just like the days of bazooka bubblegum where every piece had a comic in it for 5 cents.
Yeah. So
the Selfless contribution, I'm just, by how I've been trained and developed, and anybody that I've known, and there are no exclusions, good, bad, or other, is that my being is a sum total of everybody that's contributed to me. Yeah. And there are many more people than I'll ever be able to know or to talk about, but to get me to a place where it's like thinking the other person first and doing for the other person first, that's always where my makeup will be, right? Mm-hmm. How can I get that person to smile? How can I get them to think differently? Yeah. And I think that there's a tendency, or there can be a tendency, to look for the bigger stuff instead of a phone call or just to listen or to relate, our brain wants to do bigger and better things, but the simpler things, the more meaningful things, the more emotional things, are priceless. Number one, and number two, that's why they're probably overlooked. Is because there's no monetary exchange with that.
That's me. It's every little thought that I see people have done or do around me speak more volume to me and mean more to me than anything else. I mean, truly, it's the simple little things, that they're priceless, because people were listening, or that people care that you took that time. That's why I love when I do my Live, Love, Laugh. I love doing that show, because I love always throwing something out there that people didn't expect to see that I did for them. I just love it.
Selfless contribution to others, like, in short, another way of looking at it to me is like the things you do for other people, or the things you see in other people that they don't see in themselves.
Absolutely. It really is. And like I said, Lori can tell you this, we had that classmate, Dawn, when we were in 9th grade, that was killed in a car accident. It's just as sad to see when people don't appreciate, or you don't know the value of a person till they're gone and it's too late. And we really need to keep that focused of, it's the little things that are going to matter, that, that when that person passed, that you're going to remember. It's the little things. I mean, when people are sitting there celebrating and talking about somebody's life, yeah, remember this or that. But if these people would have known that they mattered, that's what's wrong with this people that are, when you see somebody that's regular, fine, blah, 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 and then they're refrain and they're more recluse, and they realize how nobody else is reaching out to them if they're not reaching out. And I'm not going to lie, but I'm going to be very transparent here. Shit, like Lynn isn't transparent, right?
No.
But there's a lot of times I'll even know a lot of my friends, and I'm not going to point even if they're watching or not, if they watch the replay, but I'm just using this as an example, and I'm okay with it. But, it's just amazing. Most of the time I'm reaching out. And no, Lori, I'm not talking about you, because you reach out to me, so I love you. But I'm saying, and I've been reaching out to her lately because I want to. But I reach out to people, or I send them a little voice message or whatever. But until they need something or think they can get something out of me, they show up. But in the meantime, you can't get that capital, friendship capital, to just throw me a hello for no reason.
Exactly.
So I think it's funny, how if I'm not active, people don't realize maybe something's going on with Lynn. And usually there is something going on with Lynn when Lynn isn't being active.
And to those that are, I don't know, maybe a little bit vulnerable or a little bit too trusting quickly of others, is that
that's me.
I'm able, and I know you're like this, Lynn, too, is that you're able to snuff out inauthenticity right away, where somebody is there to be a selfless contribution, which usually comes out of which usually is unexpected and comes out of nowhere. But then are they consistent with that throughout, or is that their cover? But then what their real reasoning for reaching out was something about them.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Snake oil salesman, ulterior motive, whatever you want to say. And it's just like, I snuff that out right away, and I call them out on it. I'm like, are you truly reaching out to connect with me, or try to sell me something? And it stops them dead in their tracks, because probably nobody else will talk to them that way. But call it what it is, right?
Yeah, well, and let me just say this too, just a little public announcements for some of these people on Facebook. It's pretty shitty when you go message somebody, hey, blah, 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 with your spammy self, and you don't even realize that maybe you should have looked at their Facebook wall and seen that they're going through something, or something's going on, or there's an event, or this or that. That if you want to be less slimy, go check their wall first, see how their life's been, before you go pour your self, narcissistic whatevers you want on a person. I mean, don't be that way. I think it's sad when people think, oh, I'm going to make a book, or I'm going to make a program, or I'm going to have a course, or I'm going to have a class, or I'm going to have a seminar, or I'm going to have whatever you're going to offer people, or give people value. But here you are. You're absolutely forgetting when's the last time you talked to these people? Do you really have a relationship with them? Like,
Right.
what's going on? And that's not a good thing, So
Well, and one of the things I was working through in my brain, and okay, so Dennis says, when you've been in sales for 50 years, some people automatically think you want to sell them something. Yeah. Well, Dennis, I mean, I only can speak from my point of view, but we're conditioned, right?
yeah.
I mean, even like I'm in the wedding industry, wedding and private event space, planning, production, all of that. And it's like, I don't even know if I can help these people.
Yeah.
I don't even know if we're like-minded. I don't, just because they have money doesn't mean it's best spent with me. If my credibility and reputation is important,
Right.
because it doesn't take very many bad reviews, and it doesn't mean I'm incompetent or I'm not able to deliver. It just may mean I'm not working with the right people.
Well, Ray Higdon teaches something that I think is great, and a lot of people should learn out there. And I'll give this tip, and I'll give him credit for, is that at least he tells people, say, hey, Brian, how you doing? I know we haven't talked in a while, but, I thought of you because I'm doing this. Are you open? I mean, the whole, let's talk about the elephant in the room. Hey, Brian, we haven't talked in a while. You at least take that freaking resistance away. And that's a freaking big ass huge tip for a bunch of you out there. Like, take that, like, be that transparent, to be honest with people, because people will appreciate that.
And the consistency of how that shows up is it authentic or inauthentic? Because there will be a pattern. I guarantee there will be a pattern about how it appears.
Right.
Now, the one power we always have, and this is not only for us as consumers, but also sellers or, buyers or service providers or whatever that is that our perception is all that matters. Well, the same thing applies to those that we serve.
Right.
We might think that we're providing value or give value, but the only ones that have that answer is them.
Right.
And it blows my doors off when things are so misaligned, where the way that we feel like we're being perceived is different than the way that they perceive us.
And the other thing is like me saying, hey, Brian, we haven't talked in a while, but if I have something to service or help Brian with his business, first thing I'd be like is, how's your business and what are you doing? And I'd ask him, hey, so how's this going? And how's that going? And I'll just joke and wink here and say, so like, do you have a business card or something? At least you're doing something like that to relate or have a conversation for an example. Whereas talking to him about digital business card might not be the freaking thing, when maybe I should find out if he has one first. I'm just saying, like, be human. Don't go for the jugular and for your self-centered, mission. Gosh, we're going to run out of room time here, but I'm just saying, don't have your motives drive you. Don't be so,
Well, and just remember that whoever you're talking to, they're keeping tabs about the words that come out of your mouth, and if you're living bad or you're totally hypocritical of it.
Yeah. Well,
it's like if you say that you're authentic, well, then be authentic.
Yeah. I was just thinking, like, don't go to the grocery store when you're hungry. What the hell you think I'm gonna do? Be ravenous. So it's just like, if you're hungry for sale, you're not gonna go.
How'd that go again, Lynn? You go to the grocery store. Somebody needs to screenshot that moment for a callback later. Excellent. I love it. Oh yeah. I wish that I could actually write that down to know what that sound. If I could take a sound and put it down on a piece of paper for Friday for a Lynnism. Yeah. Larry, what do you get out of this sound right here?
Well, you see, if you were the producer, you could do something that I figured it could do, and maybe I'll go back and do it. I don't know. And that's basically go get the clip and upload it and say, and then show it. That's so
that'd be
funny.
Fantastic.
That's
hey,
great.
Larry, we're gonna let you go first. What speaks to you about this this little 4-second sound bite? That's outstanding.
I love how we come up with
okay,
ideas
so
for the show.
We gotta go here in a couple minutes. Thank you to everybody that's joined us for day number 3 of You Do You. Friday, we're going to have a great show, improv style show with our guest, Larry Schneider, coming from Kansas City. So that's going to be awesome. Larry's always tunes in and watches us. And let me see here. What else? Oh, and to anybody catching the replay, this show went really fast today. So we're just glad you're here with us. So any final thoughts that you'd like to impart?
Just basically be impeccable with your words, follow through, and that's a true selfless contribution to others. Yeah. And we're done.
My point of view would be is like whatever you need to do it over and over and over and over again, where it becomes second nature. I promise you that it could change your life. Number two is that, man, your heart is going to be gravitating and guiding the whole way. And how much do you value that? Julie says, please go through changes. I know prior to your brother's death, I was much more outgoing. Now I have stayed to myself because I'm learning to find my new being. Yes. Taking the time for yourself is very important, Julie.
He would be very proud of you, Jules. I can tell you that. So she used to be off the cuff and whatever. And so I know she's trying to get her footing because she always had my brother as the backup, just like you're my backup. And so, she's trying to, I get that. Anyways, you guys, I love you, Jules. Thank you for being here. Thank everyone for being here. Yeah. And thank you, Scott, for being here. And mwah, that's for Scott. Okay. Bye.